Welcome to the pod, everybody. I'm your host, Luke Farber, and this is Carolina Panthers Football in My Mind podcast. And what is in my mind today? Well, I guess we got to talk about New Orleans. Nothing like a 47-10 whooping to start the season. I don't think any of us were pleased by that. I don't think anybody on the field, on the sideline was it was I mean, it almost everything went wrong from the jump. Unfortunately, it reminded me a lot of last year. Uh, and that's the last thing any of us want to see right now, especially to open the year. All this excitement, all this, oh, new staff, new O line, new receivers, new Bryce. Man, it was not good. Anyway, we'll just start there. It did not start off well at all. Um, the new defense struggled right out the gate, and that was a bit shocking. Now, as we talked about before with the new personnel and the new coaches, it's going to take some time to gel, right? People got to feel each other out. They got to learn how to communicate, learn how people move and what their own tendencies are so that they can play complementary football with their teammates. Obviously, none of that happened. And the secondary, which has two new starters, three, if you, well, no, Troy Hill is old over. So, yeah, two new starters, corner and safety. And there were definite miscommunications starting with the first third down of the game, 3rd and 4. Obviously, we saw the ball go over the defense's head for a 49-yard touchdown, which is the cardinal rule of secondary play, right? You cannot have the ball fly over your head. And of course, it's 3rd and 4. And, I don't know what play was called, but you look at the play and it looks like JC's kind of playing more trail position as if he's going to have safety help over top. And if you look at it, the safety bites on the crossing route on the underneath throw, leaving Shaheed, the fastest guy on the Saints, with nobody over top and JC playing underneath leverage. Ding, ding, ding. Home run touchdown. Obviously not the right start. And then what happens? But Bryce gets a clean pocket on the first play of the game, just throws the ball 2 yards over Deontay's head, and it ends up picked off. I mean, it's just the opposite of what the coaching staff and the team has been preaching all off season, right? Take care of the ball. Number one, take the ball away. Number two, uh, and we obviously failed uh, at those spots. I mean, Mingo, his fumble, Bryce's. We got to hold on to the ball. Every time we seem to be getting some positive momentum, we would make a mistake, turn the ball over, holding penalty on a key 3rd down. Nothing flowed. Nothing worked from the get-go. In my past, I would be so angry that I would come on here and I would bury everybody. Um, that is not the case. That's not what I'm going to do. It's week 1. It's one game. And just like that quarterback that I cannot stand, we all need to relax. Hopefully, because it was so bad, it can be easily wiped away. Especially because, if you look at it, we weren't ready to play. No unit seemed ready to play. The defense got shoved around from the get go. The O line was overwhelmed. The quarterback was, everybody. That is the one thing about Canales that I meant to mention last episode, but I'll mention it now. And I think it's a trend in the NFL that's taken the football downhill, especially in the first month of the season, but nobody plays their starters at all in the preseason. The starters for this team on defense and offense, most of them got one series in the preseason. One series. It's not enough. It's not enough for a normal team, but a team that has so many new pieces and new coaches. We needed more time than the average team. Obviously, New Orleans has had organizational continuity for almost 2 decades now. Yeah, Sean Payton isn't there anymore, but the organization has been stable. Ours has not. So they're starting ahead of the game on us, and we should have known that, and we should have been more prepared. And, I'm not mentioning anything that I'm sure the coaches and the players don't know. They know it a whole lot better than I do, I'm sure. However, I think really what needs to happen is, yeah, we need to make adjustments. We need to slow down. We need to back up. We need to be more conservative. We have to know who we are, our limitations, and we have to play to those strengths, or at least protect ourselves from those situations. We weren't able to run the ball very well or very much because we got down 20-0 before we could blink. I don't care if we got down 40-0 this week. You still need to pound the rock. Anyway, we'll put the Saints game to bed. It was awful. We're going to move on. It's really unfortunate to lose our best defensive lineman, Derek Brown, for the year, but at least it's in the beginning of the year and we can make strides and adjust our schemes and personnel to try and make up for that loss. It's not a good sign that we were signing defensive linemen before week 1 and after week 1 onto the active roster. We're obviously thin there, and we could not get a pass rush on Sunday, and that is going to probably continue. So, maybe we'll be more aggressive with the blitz. We'll see. I'm interested to see what the coaches are going to do here. So, anyway, moving forward, this week, we got the Chargers coming to town. It's our first game at the bank of the year. So hopefully we can have a good showing. Let's wipe away last week. And who do we got this week? We got Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, and the Chargers. What do we know about Jim Harbaugh teams? They're going to be tough, smart, and physical. They want to run the ball, and they want to beat us up, and they want to stop the run on defense. And that's what we should be aspiring to. That's what we want to do. So I believe that's the key to this game is whoever controls the line of scrimmage, obviously, especially in the run game, especially early, has a great chance to come away with the victory. Obviously, they have a more experienced quarterback in Justin Herbert. He is one of the best physical specimens at the position in the league. He's been around for, I think, 4 or 5 years now. Made the playoffs once. His team epically collapsed. The Chargers have had injury problems, and some would say underachieving problems in recent years. Justin Herbert is very talented, but he's seen a lot of guys in his wide receiver core and his running back core leave the building. However, he's probably got the best offensive line. Austin Slater is a great tackle. They drafted Joe Alt in the top 10 this year. They want to be big, physical, and run the ball. So the defense that got pushed around in New Orleans week 1 has got to be better. You got to be more stout. So we'll see. Anyway, moving on to the Chargers skill position players. J.K. Dobbins had a hell of a game last week, over 100 yards. including a 60-plus yard run. Their wide receivers are all pretty new. They lost Keenan Allen and Mike Williams in free agency. Uh, Quentin Johnson's got a lot of speed, but inconsistent hands. Their young rookie lad McConkey will probably make a few plays. Palmer is a solid wide receiver. He is on the injury report this week, so we'll see what happens with that. Defensively, you got to watch out for their tandem end pass rushers, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Mack is older. Bosa's had health problems, but they're fantastic defensive ends when they have it going. Bosa has not practiced yet this week and is questionable for the game, so we'll see what happens there. But our tackles are going to have their hands full, that's for sure. Excuse me. In the back end, Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr. are playmakers, whether they're blitzing or making plays on the ball in the secondary. We're going to have to be spot on. Bryce is going to have to be accurate, and the guys are just going to have to hold on to the ball. Looking over the other side for us, I mean, honestly, I think got to start with coaching. I mean, we obviously got outcoached last week by a lot. We weren't ready to play. The game plan did not work. And I think, like I said before, we have to run the football. We only had 20 rushing attempts last game for 3.2 a carry, I believe. The Saints had 37 for 4.9, I believe. That's going to tell the tale of this game. If we can run the ball, I say we got to run it at least 30 times. I want to see Chuba get over 20 carries. We have to protect our quarterback. And that means we have to run the ball and we have to run it effectively and then run complementary play action off of it. And just like our running game and our play calling should protect our quarterback has to protect the ball. We know that. Bryce knows that. But we can't turn the ball over. And that includes when you're scrambling and diving for the end zone or diving for a first down. You have to hold on to the ball more securely. Bottom line. Anyway, like I said, let's run the ball. Let's help Bryce out. Let's get him some short, easy completions where he can get his athletic playmakers, Leggett, Mingo, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, Sanders, hopefully Tommy Tremble's back. Get him the ball in space. Let him run. Let him make a play. Anyway, moving on defensively, we got shoved around point blank last week by the Saints. And we got to stand up. We got to have some pride, got to have, I don't want to call out people's effort. I know everybody says, oh, we got to have better effort. Yeah, we got to have better effort, I'm sure. We got to have better production. So that's number one. We got to be better at the run game defense, especially with Jim Harbaugh and J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards coming into town. They're going to run the ball a bunch, and we got to be ready for it. Secondly, communication in the back end has to be better. We had too many miscommunications and open receivers last week, and it cost us, especially because we don't seem to be able to get pressure on the quarterback with 4, maybe even with 5. We have to scheme up some ways, and honestly, some guys just have to step up. We have to affect the quarterback more than we did. Otherwise, we're just going to struggle. And that's going to be a year-long thing. If we cannot get to the quarterback, we can stop the run all we want. If we know they're going to pass and we can't affect the passer effectively, there's only so much you can do. So anyway, we're heading into week 2. We're wiping the slate clean of New Orleans. I want to see what we got. How are we going to respond? Obviously, it did not go the way we wanted it to. And this is a perfect opportunity, a perfect opportunity for the coaching staff, for Bryce and company to show their maturity, show their resolve, show their determination and their grit. And I'm looking forward to it. Do I think we're going to win? No. Unfortunately, there's no way I can pick us after last week. Would I love to see that marked improvement from week 1 to week 2 and us pull something out and really show what we've been working on this off season and bully a bully and get a win, scratch, claw, fight, bite to get it? I would love to see that. The way we looked last week, I can't predict it. Hopefully, we can show some progress and some consistency on offense, enough to score some points. I don't expect the Chargers to roll on us like the Saints did. Maybe we're all underestimating the Saints. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. We got a chance at the bank to come out and prove it in front of Charlotte and the home fans, and I'm hoping that it isn't half full by the third quarter, because that's kind of what we've seen in recent years, and that's not how we want this one to go. So Chargers 20, Panthers 18, something to build on, something to move forward to next week. All right, everybody, be safe. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. I'll talk to you next week. Keep pounding.